Hello, my dear Gemini, and welcome. I'm so excited to have you here. We are celebrating on the 1st of February, the Invoke time, the Wheel of the Year. So this actually is a spread that goes with the Wheel of the Year, also the Medicine Wheel. So I'm going to go over all the positions with you, but first let's just focus on Invoke and what that means. So it is the 1st of February, and it's this time that's right smack dab in the middle of the winter solstice and the spring equinox. So we have this fire element, we have this earthy element coming for us as we are kind of burrowing into our thoughts, thinking of the year ahead, but also still in that hibernation time. So it's a very interesting time to be alive. As we know, lots of things are going on, which have been coming up in the readings as well, just as far as the soul purpose, soul mission is very much a focus. So we'll be calling upon all 4 elements. We'll be calling upon the 7 directions. We're also calling upon your ancestors, spirit guides, angels. As we go about this time, focus on your goals, see what's going on in that hibernation period, and let's go into your reading positions. This is your past, your mindset, your spirit messages from the spirit realm, and then your action or future outcome. And 2 cards came out at the same time there. Of course, we have your center, and then this is the Lenormand, which is read like a sentence. So first, we'll go ahead and clear the energy space. I'm going to go ahead and light some Palo Santo. This is your time to grab your coffee, your tea, your comfies, curl up and get comfortable here as we go about this reading for you. And just taking a few breaths in now as we clear this energy space and enter a state of relaxation to see this through. Okay, my dear Gemini, right in the center of the reading, we have truth in the reversed. So we'll see what the reversed is going to mean here, but first let's just focus on the card. I love that she's playing this musical instrument, and then we have like droplets of water coming up out of these sprouts, these bleeding hearts, and going upwards into the heavens. So maybe there is this need to release and speak your truth and to be a little bit more forthcoming when it comes to speaking what it is that you are going through, perhaps to the people around you. So we'll leave it in reverse, and we will come back to that as we get more cards uncovered. In the past here, you've been making a ritual of joy, and I love that. I love that word ritual, and ritual of joy, coming back to that power of feeling personally empowered, feeling that you're on the right path. This joyous ecstasy that says, I'm in alignment, I'm doing what I need to do, I'm living out my truth, it's time for me to excel. So there's this method here of letting the light in, also very much trusting yourself. And let's see what's been going on in your mindset here. Okay, and this is a humor card, so this is about taking things in strides, not taking things too seriously. I really love this character, the Heyoka. This is a Native American deck, and he represents sort of this class clown type energy, and this would be the guy who his job is to wreak havoc. His job is to bounce off the walls and, you know, cause a ruckus. And even if it's your wedding and then he comes and pours water on everybody, everybody will be looking at you, because it's up to you then to make this a wet t-shirts party and go with it and allow it not to ruin that one special day, because people won't be looking at this person. Okay, well, he's done his work. This is his job. And now the eyes are on you. Will you take it seriously? Will you, backlash? Will you act out? Or will you say, okay, this is just the dance of life. This is just how I'm perceiving the moment. I can always come back to joy. It's very interesting there, sequence, but we'll get back to that. Okay, your spirit messages, the Field of Plenty. This is one of the more powerful cards I've ever witnessed, actually. The basis behind it It's just so powerful. This is about having your needs manifested. This is about literally being in a field filled with all of the material things that you could ask for, and not thinking to yourself, oh, well, I'm just the one with high standards. Oh, well, I don't deserve all of these things, the fancy car and the purse and, or the bag or the shoes or whatever. Because we tend to do that to ourselves. We tend to think, oh, how is it that I can possibly deserve these things? So there's this aspect here of grabbing what it is that you desire and finding yourself embellished and ignited and lit up by the fact that you get to have these things. It's a gift for you, and you're meant to take it. And you're meant to have this field of running through the field with your arms open wide, having all of the things that you've ever wanted finally in your grasp. So it's important to embrace that your needs are not only just for you to survive, but they're for you to enjoy. So the future outcome here, let's see where you're headed. Okay, beautiful. So as I mentioned, I think it's time for you to declare what it is that you want and to be a little bit more forthcoming about it. There's a part here to having this fist in the air, right? Putting that line in the sand, putting that foot down, and truly declaring, this is what I want. This is what I see for myself. And it doesn't have to be something that, the people around you or your friends and family have to even know that you're doing. This can be between you and the universe, your guides, spirit, source, angels, whatever it is that you choose to believe in, where you put that fist in the air and you say, you know what? It's time for me. It really is time for me to reap the benefits of everything I've been through, to really put that foot down. And the universe is here to say, yes, we hear you, and you are doing this work, and you are, attempting to move forward in this bright light, but cycles will continue. So it's important not to beat yourself up whenever, something comes through and you feel that you've made a mistake. You feel that, the positivity is upside down, or, having a little bit of melancholy feelings or what have you. I mean, mistakes happen. So the universe wants you to know that when that happens, when there are hiccups or obstacles in the road, just pick up where you left off, okay? Cycles do continue. They do happen. That does not mean you're not on the right path. Somebody needed to hear that. Okay, so always come back to this ritual of joy. This is your truth right here. And then focus on taking things lightly, and you will move forward with a declaration and with this jurisdiction of your life. And that's very important. And this medicine wheel here is exactly the spread that we're doing, going through all of these points. And then there are going to be cards going along these lines as well. So we're diving deeper. Let's move forward to the Lenormand. We have the bear. A beautiful energy for this, because there's rejuvenation here. There's a strength here. Polar bears are all about strength, and the brown and the grizzly bears are all about introspection. So there's a little bit of both here, because I'm seeing a little bit of diving deeper into yourself, and especially when it comes back to deserving, okay? And some of you are called to education, continuing that education. Your health is going to be very important now, okay? But you have the key to get through all of these things. These two are essentially the same card, both in reverse. So an interesting conundrum here. I do think that maybe some of you are doubting that you do know what to do. Some of you are thinking, okay, I know what to do, but maybe this is a little bit too hard, or I have the key, but the lock is rusty. Something kind of like this that keeps you a little bit stuck. And so we have good messages coming in. Again, coming back to this positivity, this is this card here. Come back to that gift of gratitude, that gift of receiving abundance. And I love that that's here as well, because this is the cornucopia. This is the lesson of Thanksgiving and why we Americans have it. Okay, the Native American people were not teaching. It's funny how misconstrued the story got, because it wasn't that the Native people were teaching, have one great big day of thanks and feast because we are neighbors now and everything's going to be, you know, a communion of people coming together. We give thanks for this once. No, it's not like that. They were saying it was a lesson in manifestation. They said, your needs will be met here. I don't know where you come from. I don't know what happened to you before, but you seem a little worrisome. You seem a little bit forthcoming. You seem a little bit with armor on. So it was a lesson in, you can relax. Everything is working in your favor. Everything is coming to you in the exact pace that it should. Your job is to give thanks and be grateful and to perhaps lighten up a bit. I know the cards can be a little harsh, but it does seem that some of you may be taking things a little too seriously. And the universe is like, this is manifestation. Manifestation coming true. This is speaking to your source guides, angels, and having that heard. This is coming back to love and joy and pleasure and allowing yourself to experience those things. And so we have it here. You will get the things that you need. Everything is coming in its divine timing. Just take the strides a little lighter. Tread lightly on the Mother Earth, right? And on your journey as well. Some of you are just a little bit too tunnel vision, perhaps, and we see that here as well with the anchor upside down. So this is sort of that negative aspect of grounding, feeling a little bit stuck, feeling a little bit like the movement is not happening, or it's happening too quickly at one point and then it's slow at another point. So there's a balance going on within you as you manifest. The clovers here, especially the 4-leaf right at the forefront, is very much about luck. And the clovers are a very medicinal plant. You can eat almost every part of this plant, and all of the animals rely upon it and go crazy for it. You know, you'll see rabbits hoard it, and all of the animals, the deer and everything, they protect it and they love it and they gobble it up. And it's because this plant only blossoms for a very short time. So it's so sacred. It's very highly revered. All the animals adore it. And so it represents that feeling of instant gratification. Okay, and the universe is saying we're not doing that. Okay, we need a little bit more time to see things through, and there's always something to be released in order to move forward. So what is that? What is ready to be released? Interesting repeat message here. It says doable. The key is within your grasp, and the key does represent a truth. Okay, so these are very much the same card, and it stays right in the center of your reading. There's something going on. I'm going to flip these cards upright just because at some point in the reading I usually do. After we've gone over it, I like to have them straight up again. But there's an aspect here of you doubting yourself, your belief systems, the law of the universe, the law of attraction, manifestation, God, source, spirit, angels, whatever you believe in, has been wavering. And in so doing, you have created doubt within yourself. I read a quote just recently that said, as soon as your doubt, I'm going to butcher it, feeling the doubt overpowers your belief system, something like that. If you doubt your power, you give power to your doubt. There we go. Okay. So this is present here. It's time to recognize serendipitous and synchronistic occurrences that have happened in your life. Where have you seen this work for you? Because I have a feeling that you have a book or, you know, a list of all the things, repeat numbers, different things that are like, you're on the path, there's cycles continuing, but you're doing it. So you need now to believe that as soon as you crack out this window, as soon as you open your fist, there is the key. So there's this aspect of divine timing. I mean, literally the moment comes and there you are to catch that. And then at the bottom of the deck here we have let love grow. More of this taking things a little lighter. We have this delicate flower petal head here. Some of the imagery here, I just, it's up to the observer what this image is saying. But to me, there's this aspect here of separation because he's so far away up here. And perhaps he's passed on and, there's something going on here. But for me, it's not letting go and having that conscious choice to say, this is where I'm going to thrive, and growing from a negative situation or a struggle that's happened in the past, because we all have something, right? And we all grow from that place. And in so doing, we create a better person than what was before. Okay. Ooh, as I move everything. Okay. Let's dive in now to more of this mindset here of taking things lightly, moving into that manifestation. And at the bottom of the deck, before I even shuffle, is happiness. And I love the colors here. I mean, such a radiant color scheme. And I love it. I'm going to actually pull this card because I feel it so much for you. So what do we have for Gemini to be focusing on in their mindset, going towards their goals? Okay, interesting. Wow. Night and day different. I'm glad I pulled the dolphins because look at how similar this energy really is. There's turbulence here, there's waves here, there's probably wind and all this different stuff, but they're riding this wave. And then we have here these butterflies who seem to be doing okay, but they could be caught up in a twister. But from the perspective of that butterfly, do they know that that's what's happening? And from that perspective of the butterfly, can they heal that chaos? Right? So these are one and the same. There's turbulence, there's cycles, and this medicine wheel going on. But you have an option here to ride that wave, enjoy that turbulence, and in so doing, you take the power away from the situation. Right? So again, as soon as you doubt your power, you give power to your doubt. That's most certainly coming through for you. And I think it's been something, some sort of self-reflection that's causing the second guessing. So it's something within you that you feel that you need to fix, or you feel that you need to wipe clean. And the universe is most definitely not nodding towards that. It's much more, always do the research on yourself, looking at DNA codes, human design, astrological signs, Akashic records, soul contracts, I mean, DNA history, whatever, in order to best know yourself. But at the end of the day, everything that you are called to is joy and happiness and focusing on where you want to be. And at the bottom of the deck here, we have protection. So there's some sort of aspect of perhaps feeling as though you need to do something quickly before the lightning strikes, before something happens. So it's like an anticipation type energy, but we'll get into that a little bit more. Okay, let's dive deeper. Let's go into more of that future aspect. You're most definitely manifesting. It seems that you're manifesting something rather large. And we have here dignity. Interesting. Take pride in yourself and all that you have become. Feel honored by your choices, achievements, and actions. Yes, so again, that second guessing, looking back on yourself. I mean, we all have those instances that are rather cringy, as they would say now. Conversations we had 5 years ago, or people that we lost a billion years ago, or even this could be ancestral trauma, this could be past life stuff. Something is kind of holding you down, and it's very much time to release that. And at the bottom of the deck here we have friendship, so this could be something having to do with a friendship or an old friendship, but it says, be with the ones who make you shine, who love you and really care. Keep those and let the others go. And I think that's very predominant here. I haven't been feeling a lot like there's baggage to drop. I don't feel that for you, or, you know, people to cut out or anything to really release and let go of. The only release work I see is to release the doubt that you don't have it in you to continue and to press on and to see this through. I mean, there's kind of like a pressure that's on you. Okay, let's dive in now to what's being expressed. What is it that you are expressing outwardly and radiating into the world as you go through this in bulk time? What is expressed from Gemini? The spark. Wow. I think every single sign has gotten this card. It's very much an Ace of Wands type energy. New creative pursuits, that feeling that gets you out of bed in the morning. And quite honestly, we're seeing this quite a bit. There's this joy. I mean, look at the imagery here of these dancing figures. You could very well put a violin in this hand here and see the same image. So it's time to embrace that life is a dance. And even if you stumble, you just make it part of the dance. It's part of your creative expression. It's part of the quirks that makes you who you are. And there's aspects here of you looking at yourself and thinking, oh goodness, you know, how embarrassing, where other people are looking at you and saying like, wow, what a beautiful dance, what a beautiful song. So there's a judgment here coming upon yourself that's very much not needed. And we have here unexpected visitors. And this is a nod to the friendship card as well. I think it's time for you to call upon your friends, be talking to them about what it is you're going through, start talking about your goals and your wants, because it seems that your desires are quite substantial, and it's a beautiful thing. It's not something that you should hide, or, you know, I feel like there's a little bit of, how could little old me get something so massive? But the fact of the matter is, we're in this beautiful time where the people of Earth are getting to understand they don't want to be governed, they don't want to be held back, they are ready to break free from this glass ceiling, right? It's like the window's always been closed. So you've always felt that you don't want to have to move forward through it because that would be painful. But now you're realizing, as soon as you catch that key, you know, it's kind of reminds me of Harry Potter and the port keys, you know, and we have the book here as well, which reminds me very much of that too, like the Akashic Records and that traveling through worlds type imaginative space. But we are realizing with this card here that the glass was never that thick. And as soon as we held the key, we escaped the prison, right? So there's sort of this aspect here of not wanting to be muzzled anymore. So let's go into now what it is that's driving you. What is the momentum for, not January, Gemini? What is the momentum for Gemini? What is propelling them forward? The Six of Vessels, so Six of Water, and a reunion. I really love this card. It feels very inclusive and foresty. It's the lesson of this manifestation. You know, all of the animals come to the pool to drink, and they all take their turn. And sometimes even predators will not hunt on these grounds because of their respect, right? And because abundance exists. So they don't have to go and bother the family of otters in order to eat a meal that day, right? And that might be a far stretch into a utopia, but the lesson remains the same. You know, there's this beautiful sharing energy here and a reunion that says everybody is welcome. So you're living out that truth. You're here to spread this message. I feel that this is some of your brand message, or part of what you stand for, is there's an all-inclusive energy field and everybody should partake in it freely. Okay. And we also have balance. Yes. There's a need for you to find within yourself a balance and a steadiness. It's time to really steady your emotional self, because I feel like you get fired up. And rightfully so. You know, there's so much civil unrest, there's so much anxiety in the air. 2020 was just like crazy all over the world, crazy. And we've been learning so much about, you know, the world and what it stands for and how we don't really vibe with that, many of us, right? And so the important thing to realize here is that you're alive today. You're on planet Earth for this transition. And again, wow, at the bottom of the deck here, sorry, I got distracted, but it's the Ace of Arrows, the breath of life. I mean, the imagery is so much the same here. There's a newness coming from you, innovation, creating something new, being the architect of the new world, right? And there's a positivity here that people have yet to really embrace, I think, you know, because 2020 was so down and sad and awe-striking. But 2021 has a brand new energy. And it's this right here, a bright, unique, individualized new future where people begin to look around at the world around them and they think, wow, would you look at that view? Would you look at how stunning it is to be alive today, to be part of this transition team, to say no more. Enough is enough. Let me show you how. It's like when the world is burning, get up and run it, right? So some of you may be really feeling drawn to leadership. Okay, and then I wanted to show you this as well, because at the bottom of the deck here, when we pulled from these over here, long time ago, protection came up. So I think that many of you are feeling fired up about certain things, and you're feeling like you're ready to lead, and then you're fired up in a way that makes you feel like you have lost control, right? Perhaps. And so the universe says, well, take things lightly, just laugh at it. And you're like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You know, I can't laugh at a tornado coming my way. I couldn't possibly. I can't laugh at all of the things I've been through my life, through the cycles, through the pain and the anguish and the things that I've seen. I couldn't possibly laugh at that. But you have to embrace the fact that you're here to create a transition and to lead a transformation, to protect the next 7 generations, to protect the earth and the spirits here. So let's dive deeper. Okay, I'm going to go into the aspects of you that are really coming through. I'm going to be shining at this time. What aspects of Gemini are coming through? Wow, another ace. The ace of water, the ace of the heart. Okay, yes, I feel that there might be a fear of vulnerability coming from you, Gemini. You guys are a very strong sign. You are. You are an air sign, but you take in no crap. An air sign with some energy coming forward. You're the twister, right? At times, and that's okay. It's totally and completely okay, because it is you. So the ace of water comes through to say, embrace your emotional self as well, because this is the reward. Riding the wave, saying, I know myself, I know who I am, I know what I'm here to do, I trust myself to be right at the right place at the right time, I allow myself to feel the feelings and deserve happiness and give myself whatever I need, and to feel pleasure in that. There's an emotional uprising that is beautiful and it's amazing and it is filled with joy, and that joy is the most important piece. Okay, let's see what else is coming through for my dear Gemini. Okay, we have 2 here. Very interesting. So this card is an interesting one. It's a masculine energy and he's holding up an arch with the B. The B is important because they stand for community. They stand for unity, getting things done. You know, it takes many hands to get a job done. It takes a team to get the dream to work, whatever it is. But this is a card of martyrdom. No, don't come and help me. I will hold up this wall. And then you see he's cracking. Right? So there's pride here that says, no, 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 I've got this. All on my own. I'm fine. I'm a one-ring circus. I don't need help. But there's a lack of vulnerability in that. And vulnerability is precisely what you're being called to. It's time to feel the feelings. And in so doing, take it lightly. Be okay with it. Feel the feelings. Embrace them, validate them, and find them as your strength. That's the plot twist. You're an extremely, extremely strong sign, Gemini. And you can create and manifest and make waves and create change and innovate the world so much more than you give yourself credit for. But it's going to take this energy here. Feeling the pain, the wounds, the tragic, you know, what have you, and using that energy. Because this is a spark of life, a breath of life. This is creation energy. This is the universal source energy meeting with the earth energy that's nurturing and creating from a space of absolute abundance and trusting yourself. I'm going to put those together there because they go hand in hand here as well, right? The water, the emotion, the overflow creates a space for people to resonate. This reunion here. This allows people to come into your circle and to say, that's a person with dignity. That's a person who knows where they came from. That's a person who has pride in their story, who sees their transformation journey and chooses to celebrate it and chooses to let it rise them up. Okay, so it says here, feel honored by your choices. That's huge, Gemini. It's time for you to reflect on yourself and feel that pride in you. So let's see here. We have at the bottom of the deck, desire. So come back to what it is you're creating. We have the Master of Fire here, and here's you, you know, maybe up late at night with your your own cards or your crystals or, you know, your herbs or what have you, and you're burning the midnight oil saying, how do I grow this lotus flower? How do I align my chakras and meditate or do Reiki or what have you? How do I do so in a way that's not too forthcoming? How do I do so in a way that has a bird's eye view that isn't stuck in the 3D, but here I am in the 3D dimension, feeling like a shadow, walking around, not feeling resonating with the world around me. So the message here is, this is creation energy. You hold the fire. You're the keeper of the flame who moves mountains. Okay, let's dive into how you're going to be connecting to the universe now. What does Gemini do to connect to the universe in a bigger way? Yes, I love this doorway here. It says advancing, a warm reception, prosperous conditions, increased influence, hopefulness, lightening up, and arrival. Interesting. Okay, so I think that many of you may be attempting meditation or approaching the Akashic Records or astral travel, whatever you want to call it. But at the bottom of the deck here, we have another window. So we have the door, now we have a window, and you're looking out. So again, you are on the inside of this window wanting to break free. So here it says harmony, balance, perfection, poise, a sense of well-being, favorable conditions, and expansion. So there's a want here to break free. I really love that there's night and day. So it's kind of like I spend my night and my day looking outside, maybe looking outside of yourself or looking into the future to see what is next, what is right. And I say that I'm called to the Akashic Records, and then I realize this is here as well. And I mean, what else do we have here? Perhaps a little bit of this too. This feeling of, yes, I know where I am. I know what I'm doing. I trust myself. That's the energy of the records. We have the book here. The Akashic Records is sometime a book that you open and you can read the chapters of your life. Some people see it as a library and your soul book comes to you in meditation. It's quite a beautiful and fascinating concept if you're drawn to it. And then we have the stone steps here, going into that meditative space, seeing the new realms, the other world, the Akashic realm, and having this bird's eye view, that clarity that says, why am I the way that I am? Or why am I reflecting in the way that I am? And how can I instead transform that energy to this heightened state of awareness and be seeing, it's like seeing the world with a new lens that's kind of coming through for you. Okay, so those will go together, this doorway into the other world, the Akashic world, what have you. Okay, and then I'm going to pull a couple animals. I know I get a lot of cards on the table, but they do follow a sequence. We've just got a lot of double cards today. A lot of times two come out, so we have two here as well. Okay, the raven and the skunk. Interesting. So the raven, of course, is magic. It represents the void, the crack in the universe, the ability to move through realms. So again, very much this energy here, and you're seeking your truth. You are looking to find a bird's eye view on what it is you're reflecting on, these aspects of self that refuses to ask for help or who likes to second guess themselves until they are grounded and can't feel the ignition of the world anymore. We all get to that point, but the universe is here to ask you to come out of that, to say it's no longer worth it to look outside the window, it's time to walk through the door. And the raven is here to really solidify that. And right next to this happiness card, I think that that's going to be a priority for you. Now the skunk. This is such a powerful medicine card. I love the skunk medicine, and it really is about reputation. If you actually have the chance to be around skunks, back in ancient times, we'll put it that way, because it's not that this is the same now with farmers and what have you, but once upon a time, in the utopia that is Native American theology, the skinks were very approachable. And you actually can find people online who have them as pets because they are very sweet, they are very kind, they do not really have a lot of fear in them, you know, but they're almost revered as sort of an aggressive little snot, right? They get into things. They're one of the burrowing animals, which we're really focusing on now, with Imbolc being the space we are in the middle of the year, February 1st. So it's coming through to really solidify that need for self-reflection, but not in a way that's like, go look at yourself in the mirror, I can't believe you. It's more like, look at the sweet parts of you. the parts of you that nobody has been able to see, right? There's a part of you that is inside that window, looking out at the world and being like, I can't go out there because I will have a reputation. Or I can't go out there because, truth be told, everybody has seen me as somebody that I'm not, and I couldn't stand it anymore, so I'm going to stay home, stay here. You know, it's a pandemic anyway, right? And I laugh because I've been here. I know what you're going through. I have felt this very, very strongly myself. And I just had to put on my hat and my boots and go line dancing. That was the choice that I made because I felt that the people around me who called themselves friends didn't really see me. They had no idea who I was and how much of that is anybody else's fault, right? And I had this whole self-reflective thing. And then I was laying there on the floor, hands out open wide, just being like, oh, what am I even doing? What is going on? This self-reflection, dark night of the soul. And then I was like, wow, that's a lot of outfits in your closet that have never been worn, right? We all have those outfits where it's like, I love it. I love it so much, but I would never wear it. I would never get rid of it, but I would never wear it. And so I put those clothes on and I looked at myself and I was like, oh, hello, there you are, right? And so again, there's this balance here happening with you, this balance of who you are at your core, the truth that is you. Here it is at the center of your reading again, saying if you were to follow your joy, if you were to balance your emotion, you would see it hasn't all been bad. It has not been something to be feared. It's just been something that you feel you've had to do alone. And so I really love this here in your action step. So how do you cope? How do you move forward? What do you do instead? And we have here, talk about it. Express yourself. Be who it is that you're ready to be. Do this with your guides. Do this with your family and friends. Who do you trust when you're dressed up in that outfit? Who do you call, right? I feel like myself. I feel like me. I'm lit up. I'm excited. I'm ready to go. But what we don't want to do is fall back into old habits, which says, oh, I have to do it all on my own, even if I crack, even if I bleed, you know, but at least I know that it's just me and I can trust myself. I don't want to trust anyone else. I will hold up the weight of the world because you have a mission, quite obviously. You're going through a transformation. You're helping the world be a better place, but you're trying to do it all alone. So let me rearrange and I will tell this story from first to finish. I'll be back. Okay, Gemini. It's been a little bit of a hard road, right? It's been a little bit chaotic and you've been feeling a little bit like you should maybe just stay put. The cycles that you've been enduring have been a little bit drudgery, like drudgery, a little bit like being stuck in the mud. And you've been feeling as though you're holding everything up alone. And it's just meant to be that way. Or there's parts of you that you feel reluctant to share. And the universe is here to say, approach that next step. Approach the people in your world. Approach the next spiritual course or research or piece of information that lights you up. And then it says here, lighten up. Because when we do that, when we begin to see humor in the world around us, when we take things lighter and we stop letting it destroy our peace, we do so in a way that brings us strength. Because there's a containment here, there's self-mastery here, where you will begin to know yourself. And in so doing, you begin to celebrate that image, to deserve happiness, abundance, you know, fun, fun on all levels. And this dance, this taking things lightly, this beginning of a power strike is your hour of power. It is your ritual of joy. And that allows you to create, to get creative, to bring new innovative ideas forward, to be the architect of your life. And in so doing, this is a new card here that was on the bottom of the deck when I grabbed them. The Jaguar is the protector of humanity. And I feel that this just goes hand in hand with your reading, Gemini. Many of you have a soul mission, a very massive, influential soul mission. You're here to help the masses with this power that you are inviting in. And your new action step is to embrace emotional fulfillment, emotional release, vulnerability, a childlike self that is adventurous and sees things as an exploration rather than a chore, right? We can even scrub dishes and in so doing be having a conversation with our guides in our head at the same time, right? And you're invited to do so. The crack of the universe, the magic between realms, whatever you want to believe in, whether it be witchy or spiritual or religious, something is there that you believe in. Excuse me, and it's time to find it. Because you're beginning to find a balance within you, and it's a spiritual balance. It comes from all this vulnerability, this emotional overflow, this feeling of release. It brings people to you, the right people, the people who speak your language, the people who know what you're talking about. When you talk about those things that fire you up, your goals, your aspirations, your new energy field, it attracts people to you because you are fully and completely expressing yourself. Another new card from the bottom of the deck. Self-expression. You know, it wasn't always just the warriors that painted their face. There was the wise one, the younger one, you know, the revered, the chief's son, whatever. Many different ways and realities to the reasons why they would paint their faces. Because it's all about your self-reflection and what you see within yourself. And it says, feel honored by your choices. Take pride in yourself and all that you have become. Be proud of your achievements and your actions. Stand tall, Gemini. Express yourself. Balance yourself and people will come. Because even a skunk has such positive, beautiful medicine, right? There's no such thing as a bad person. There's not. And it's time for you to believe that. To believe that what you have to offer here and who you are as a person here on earth is massively creative, is massively innovative, is massively influential and beneficial for this world. And you're breaking that window, right? You're breaking through the need to be calm and sitting down, or you know, not to say that any of you have been feeling lazy feelings, I don't feel that, but the second guessing keeps us paralyzed. So here it says balance again, perfection, a sense of well-being, favorable conditions, and expansion. I mean, how wonderful would it be if you were visited by somebody and they said, you're in favorable conditions to have the key always in your grasp, to open any door. How would you feel? You'd feel like making music. You'd feel like singing your song in your dance. You would feel like igniting your soul. You would be fully declaring what you want with pride and with jurisdiction for your life. So you will be continuing to search for yourself. You will always be doing this. The journey will always continue to search for who you really are, to express who you really are, to dive into DNA codes, human design, astrological signs, Akashic records, soul contract, past lives. And they're part of the key to you. Whatever you're drawn to is the correct answer. Whatever choice you make, it will be correct. And what could you accomplish? I mean, really, you could grow the Garden of Eden, and you could manifest your deepest desires. You could move mountains and rivers. You could create change on massive levels, Gemini, and you have the key in your grasp to do this. It's just a matter of belief. No more second guessing, no more playing small, no more staying safe. Get uncomfortable. Vulnerability is your key. The key to awakening who you really are, expressing yourself more fully, creating that business, that brand, what have you. And if you are doing that, if you're creating a business to help the world, this is what I do. Full-time, I am an online spiritual business coach. I help people get clients. I help people grow a following. This is a brand new YouTube channel, but I've grown others. So reach out to me. The description box is full of information, and I'm also an Akashic Records teacher. I can certify you to certify others. An entire income stream. If you're looking for income online, just send me a message. Everything's in the description box. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope you will like, comment, and subscribe as you feel called to. I will see you all next month. I will see you also in the description box too. But I'll see you then. Bye.